And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese.
China.
Russian.
Russia.
Italian.
Italy.
German.
Germany.
Swedish.
Sweden.
Korean.
Korea.
Egyptian.
Egypt.
Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
The lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. They want us to sell our souls to barter profit. Like God's property, it's hard to market. So we steady to aim, keep your eyes on target. Cause when you got to drive, yeah, they'd rather you park it. But I don't valet, you ain't getting these keys. I'm keeping closed hands, I'm on bended knee. I'm just a reflection, dealing with 8 sections. Art mixed with life, you can feel the convection. Your lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient is there. That's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time, if you give me time,
But
all that he said.
I know. We don't have.
There are so many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of
Yes.
notes. And I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible.
Yes.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites, or you want to be Jews? Do you want?
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black.
Assalamu alaikum. In the 13th tribe, Arthur Koestler traces the origin of Eastern Europe's Jewish population that was largely decimated by the Nazi onslaught during the Second World War. Through extensive research, he discusses the history of a trading empire that was set up by a tribe known as the Khazars. The Khazar Empire was located between the expanding power blocks of Christianity and Islam, and the people were converted to Judaism by their king as a way of standing apart from both. The Khazarians and their wealth were dispersed through the countries of Eastern Europe after the collapse of the Khazar Empire. The Khazarians were not a Semitic people, that they called themselves Jews after their conversion to Judaism is as absurd as the Chinese Muslims calling themselves Arabs. Is as absurd as the Chinese Muslims calling themselves Arabs. Is as
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black.
Does having Jewish DNA determine your Jewish status? Great question. The answer is your Judaism is determined by your mother. If your mom's Jewish, you're Jewish according to traditional Judaism. Now, you could have a very high count of Jewish DNA, and that's awesome. That means you're connected to the Jewish people, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're Jewish. Don't forget, there are people that convert to Judaism and they have zero DNA and they're 100% Jewish.
Today, it is prohibited, and you can Google this, to do a DNA test in Israel. Totally forbidden. Wrong. It's illegal. It's a crime. You'll be jailed if you do a DNA test in Israel. Why? Because they know the truth will come out. You come from Poland, you come from Ukraine, you came from Europe, you came from everywhere else. And they were the original Middle Eastern Jews who lived together with the Muslims and the Christians for centuries. For centuries. So what happened to a lot of the Jews?
You say, well, where did the name Ashkenazi came from? So a little over 1,000 years ago, as Jewish people scattered around the world had now emigrated in Europe and now were living in the Rhineland in Germany, they looked at the name Gomer in Genesis 10, and they connected Gomer with Germany, so they took on the identity of the name Ashkenaz. It has nothing to do with Ashkenaz in the Bible, which is a descendant of Japhet. It's just a name that was taken. Okay, it's that simple. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin or anything else. It was shortened from a Russian name when my grandfather came over at Ellis Island. The name got shortened to Brown. It's just a name. That's all it is. So the idea that Ashkenazi Jews are descended from Japhet is a myth, 100% false, zero truth. As far as the alleged conversion of the Khazars, you can read it in Yehuda Halevi's book, The Khazari, that it may be true that as there is debate and discussion, there are Turkic people a little over 1,000 years ago that some of the leaders or some of the people did, in fact, convert to Judaism and then became part of the larger Jewish people. Khazars as a whole disappeared from history. That's it. End of subject. There is no Khazarian mafia. There is not a single Jew on the planet that can be traced back in any definitive way to the Khazars. Zero.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur.
And you know what else, Jim? I just want to say this to our Christian friends, you know, just to call it as it is and say it straight out, you know, you guys are worshiping one Jew. That's a mistake. You should be worshiping every single one of us because we all die for your sins every single day. And that's exactly what's going on here. Yeah. We're all God's firstborn, and we're dying for your sins right now because the Jewish people in the land of Israel are the bulwark against the orcs. Okay? The orcs are coming not to a theater near you, but to your home.
Stranger danger! Stranger danger! Stranger danger! Stranger danger!
God's people, the Most High has chosen, the Hebrews, the blacks in America, okay? We're about to see some power. Come on, y'all. You got to get out of this lie, okay? You got to get out of this lie. You have got to come out of this lie. This white Jesus that you are worshiping is going to take you to hell. Please wake up. Oh, in the name of Yahushua, wake up. Oh, I feel the Holy Ghost. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yahusha is an alpha strong black man. He is a Negro. He is a Hebrew. I don't know what word you need to hear to understand who they are, but it is not me. I am not a chosen. You can get mad. It doesn't matter. This is how the Most High has done it. I am a Gentile, and I know my place. But I'm called to tell all of these Gentile whites that I know that you are in the deepest deception that you have ever been in. And you have been in it your whole life. And the awakening is happening now. People are waking up.
KJ, you gotta come here, all right? I gotta show you.
I gotta leave soon, man.
I know you have
I gotta
to
get
leave.
out of
Listen
here.
to me. Okay, so I'm watching TV like a year ago, all right? I'm watching one of those History Channel shows, trying to learn. And I stumble. You ever hear African Jews?
African Jews?
Yeah. No, right? No.
Looking for everybody to be a Jew.
Check this out. I don't know, all right? So these are black Jews, all right? They're stranded in the middle of Ethiopia.
When you see Ashkenazi Jews sharing high similarity to Romanians and Hungarians, this is because both of these populations were offshoots of the Khazars. They were both founded by these members of the Caucasus who ruled this area of north of the Black Sea, where we have South Russia nowadays, between the 7th and 13th centuries. A very powerful empire. They converted to Judaism in the 8th century, and they sent offshoots to Eastern Europe. And we still some Ashkenazi Jews are mapped to this region of Ukraine. They're not all mapped to Ashkenaz. Most of them are, but some of them are mapped to Ukraine, and we can see very nicely some kind of migration route using GPS.
Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you.
I want to say peace and blessings to everyone. Hope and pray that you guys had a great Shabbat. I know that I didn't schedule this live, even though I try to do a live every Saturday night. So I want to say peace and blessings to you guys, and apologies for not scheduling this like I would normally do. And I was even trying to put some slides together just to try to, give some additional information and, just really hit on a number of things. But I want to say peace and blessings to you guys. I hope and pray that you guys, again, had a great Shabbat. I hope and pray that you guys enjoyed the feast days. And I want to apologize to you guys, those that have was watching We Woke Now Extended or was anticipating on watching our celebration as we honored the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And of course, thanking the Most High for the Passover or Pasach. Really thank the Most High. So we didn't get an opportunity to actually streamline or stream, rather, I said streamline, but stream our service earlier was because we were having issues with YouTube. Go figure. So in a nutshell, we had a great time. And moving forward, the next feast days we'll have coming up, we'll make sure that you guys are included. We'll have it at a larger venue, because the reason why we didn't advertise it like I wanted to is because we the place that we hosted our celebration would not have been able to accommodate the people. It was just not enough space. But we'll make sure the next feast day, the next place we use will be able to accommodate everyone. All right. Well, everyone that choose to come, put it this way, a larger amount of people. All right. But family, I really want to deal with this here. And I'm not sure if you guys feel the same way. Right. I didn't get a chance to put some clips up, but if need be, good thing about it, I can use my own videos, stream from my own videos. And of course, I still have to say fair use because of how things have been rolling. But family, do you guys feel this way? Because we've been hearing a lot of this thing of DNA doesn't matter, right? When it comes to being an Israelite, of course, they'll use the term Jew. DNA doesn't matter. But when it comes to our community, you have other places and other spaces asking for our DNA. See, when I first got introduced to a wider group of people, after I did the Black Lives Matter video, right? I got, it was a group of people from the Christian sector that said in a nutshell, pushing this, hey, show the DNA. Show the DNA to prove that you're connected to Israel. And what happened? Showing DNA proof, then they continue to move the goalposts. Didn't show just one source, multiple sources, proving that we're connected to the ancient people, even though you'll see the term Jew in some of the feedback. And so, have you guys heard that before? I mean, asking us to show us DNA. And for those that have been following me for a while, I shared multiple sources. I shared my Jet Match results, which says that I'm connected to the Limba. That's number one, says that I'm like 7, 8 generations. I showed my 23andMe, where it says that I am connected to the Igbo. I showed my true ancestry, says that I'm connected to the Igbo. Test after test. There was one called the DNA Tribes, connecting me and my cousin, Bishop Brown, to Israel, said that we were Jews. But you notice that when it comes to that Israel, they don't have to show any proof. As you heard what the guy said, even if you have a physical connection to being a Jew, something to that effect. I'll play the clip again. He said, doesn't make you Jewish, something to that effect. Right? But let's hear it again. Let's see what he said. I don't want to take his words out of context. Don't want to misquote. But let's play it again. Let's play it again. Let's see what he said. This person right here.
Does having Jewish DNA determine your Jewish status? Great question. The answer is your Judaism is determined by your mother. If your mom's Jewish, you're Jewish according to traditional Judaism. Now, you could have a very high count of Jewish DNA, and that's awesome. That means you're connected to the Jewish people, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're Jewish. Don't forget, there are people that convert to Judaism and they have 0 DNA and they're 100% Jewish.
See, family, that right there proves that the word Jew, the word Jewish, is synonymous to being a Christian. That's a title, a religious title. See, I have other clips because you hear over and over again. It just doesn't matter. I even have a linguist, a Jewish linguist, right? I'll play it again. I'll have to pull the link in because I may have to even, if need be, connect my hard drive here and I can upload it here. But he said that, dealing with the Khazarians, he said, it's true. He said, even though it may have been a little overblown by Shmolo, what his name is, I can't remember the name. But he said it may have been overblown, but he said it's true. It's not anti-Semitic. He says the question of truth. And he points out, he says, so what, in a nutshell, that he's connected to the Khazarians. He said that doesn't make him less of a Jew. So, but when it comes to us, it's totally opposite. When it comes to that Israel, they don't have to show physical proof. They change what scripture actually says. They teach that lineage is determined by the mother. That's not biblical. That's not biblical whatsoever. When you look at the scriptures, it's the men. So they call themselves switching, which they did. Times and laws, family. See, when you understand the prophecy of Deuteronomy chapter 7:24, it talks about this particular beast was going to change times and laws. In family, there is a beast that is changing times and laws all around us. Matter of fact, I may even start this segue off dealing with them before I get into some of the other stuff. Let me see if I can pull that in here. Because family, you guys have to understand this. You have to understand this. If you don't get this down, family, this is a prophecy you have to get down and understand. See, the low swinging fruits is when you understand the text, when you try to elaborate on the text. The low swinging fruit will make you automatically default to the calendar, the Shabbat. No, it's far deeper than that. That prophecy is far deeper than that. Changing times and laws. Look at how we see right now with the times and laws being changed about DNA. Times and laws being changed about who's who. How do you determine the people of the book? Times and laws, according to the scriptures, is changing all around us. So let me see if I can pull this in, because I really want to make sure we understand a key group of people, a key beast, right? That, all right, here it is. Let me see here. Let me pull it in. Yeah, Daniel. Let's pull up Daniel chapter 7. Let me just pull this in real quick. I'm gonna copy this over because I really want you guys to understand this. I really want you guys to understand this. All right, let's see here. I'm going to copy this over. I want to make sure I get this portion of it. All right. Now you're going to still see a Spider-Man theme to this, which is fine, because I purposely did that. You know, when you start studying the Spider-Man, you know, the what's that? Enter the Spider-Verse and all of that, you'll understand this. Miles Morales and all that. I'm not going to get into it tonight. But this person or this character is what makes me think about this particular group. Now, this is Daniel chapter 7, and we'll deal with the DNA. We'll get there in a second. Daniel chapter 7, verse 23. It reads, "Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse." And notice the word you see here is Shana. Right? And this is the ancient pronunciation of the word. Shall be what? Diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. So let's deal with this word diverse. Let's go to the Hebrew dictionary definition of this word diverse. It says to alter, change, right? Manipulation. So family, this beast has the skill set, the attribute. Let me scream. I'm sorry. I should have had this stretched out. This beast has the attributes of what? Changing whatever. And that's why I want to reiterate this point. Is not just dealing with time. It's not just dealing with a calendar. It's not just dealing with a watch, but it's dealing with the other laws, the laws of who's who, the laws of how Israel function. Think about it. Think about the manipulation. Think about the laws of how to carry out Passover. You guys heard the Seder meal. That those Seders is not biblical. Eating herbs to burn your tongue, to burn your taste buds. That's not biblical. The 613 laws. That's not biblical. There's no such thing as a 613 laws. But guess what? You have so many quoting it as if it's real. And I challenge you guys to go look it up. This beast is very, very, very crafty. So when it says changing times and laws, it's not just dealing with a calendar. Regardless of those that want to stand on that position. I just proved it. If you hear the teachings that we're not under the law, that's altering and changing, right? If you hear teachings that the way to determine who's who, according to scripture, is through the maternal, then that is changing laws. It's not just dealing with a calendar. See, when you say, when people focus on that, that's low swinging fruits. That's low swinging fruits. But when you start going into the manipulation, let me show you here again. Let me play a clip here again. I'm going to show a clip from someone from their community, and I want you to hear the double talk. Let me play it one more time. There's double talk all up in it. Y'all know who I'm going to play. And this is not trying to disrespect anyone, but this person has a habit of double talking. Listen to the double talk one more time. This is dealing with the Khazars. Let's see what this person has to say about the Khazars. Listen to the double talk. Here it is.
As far as the alleged conversion of the Khazars, you can read it in Yehuda Halevi's book, The Khazari, that it may be true that as there was debate and discussion there, a Turkic people a little over 1,000 years ago, that some of the leaders or some of the people did, in fact, convert to Judaism and then became part of the larger Jewish people. Khazars as a whole disappeared from history. That's it. End of subject. There is no Khazarian mafia. There is not a single Jew on the planet that can be traced back in any definitive way to the Khazars. Zero.
Now, did you guys hear the contradiction? Did you hear the manipulation? Did you hear the altering? Because he literally said that the Khazarians, he started with the leadership. He said the people converted over to Judaism. Then in the end, he concluded by saying that there's not a single person that can point themselves over to that, to being connected to the Khazarians. Those are the words out of his mouth. Let's hear another contradiction. He tried to say that they disappeared, but then they converted over to Judaism. Here's another one of his contradictions, trying to say, hey, convinced that people just disappeared. People groups just completely disappeared. Right? Here's this other one.
Who are they then? For Herodotus, so a famous historian in time before Jesus, these people came to be called the Scythians or Scythians, right? We could read through the rest of that in detail, but this has nothing to do with Israel. This has nothing to do with the Jewish people. This has nothing to do with Ashkenazi Jews today. It was an ancient people called the Scythians or Scythians, and they leave society, they disappear, they're all gone a couple thousand years ago. This has nothing to do with Ashkenazi Jews today. It was an ancient people called the Scythians or Scythians, and they leave society, they disappear, they're all gone a couple thousand years ago. They're all gone a couple thousand years ago. They're all gone a couple thousand years ago.
I'm not going to go through this teaching, but another group that just mysteriously disappeared. The Ashkenazis, who is also called Scythians or Scythians, just mysteriously disappeared. Especially when you understand the Scythians or the Scythians, the Ashkenazi Jews or the Ashkenazi, I'll just go with Ashkenaz and the Khazars. We already proved that they are from Russia, Ukraine, Crimea, Poland, Hungarian, Romania. We could go right down the list. But because this push from that community, 23andMe and their results no longer show Khazaria there because of this community. They'll show and point to the territory, but they will not share, or the results will not come back and say Khazarians. So the Scythians are the Ashkenazi people. But then this person says this. You guys heard this. I'll play it one more time. He says this. He said they disappeared, but yet a group of people that supposedly mysteriously disappeared, they decided to take their name. They decided, and when you understand name, Sham, I'm saying it from the ancient Hebrew, Sham means reputation, not just a literal name. It means reputation. It means characteristics. It means likeness. So let's hear what he says about hijacking, according to him, stealing, taking someone else's identity. Here it is.
You say, well, where did the name Ashkenazi came from? So a little over 1,000 years ago, as Jewish people scattered around the world had now emigrated in Europe and now were living in the Rhineland in Germany. They looked at the name Gomer in Genesis 10, and they connected Gomer with Germany, so they took on the identity of the name Ashkenaz. It has nothing to do with Ashkenaz in the Bible, which is a descendant of Japhet. It's just a name that was taken. Okay, it's that simple. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin or anything else. It was shortened from a Russian name when my grandfather came over at Ellis Island. The name got shortened to Brown. It's just a name. That's all it is. So the idea that Ashkenazi Jews are descended from Japhet is a myth, 100% false, zero truth to.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur.
That's right, Jay Highstyle. Everything is a little over 1,000 years ago. So come on, family. We just listened to some contradictions in his own words. His own words. This goes back to this beast, Shana, or in, we see Shena, right? But anyway, Shana, right? Saying it from the ancient Hebrew, Shana. It says here to alter, change, right? Again, manipulation. That's what we have to associate with this too. Manipulation. Now let's go to the etymological dictionary definition of diverse and notice what it says. Different in kind, not alike, essentially different. Oh, excuse me. I was trying to clear my throat. My apologies. And the burp came out. My apologies, family. Turned different ways, disagreeable, unkind, hostile. Wait a minute. Disagreeable, right? That's a key. We just see that. Unkind. Wait a minute. Can I give you an example of someone that is unkind? Yes, I can. Let me give you an example from part of this beast being unkind according to Daniel. Let me let you hear some unkind words. Let me pull it up here. These are some unkind words towards our community. Here's some unkind words.
We're finishing now part 2, chapter 2. And what we've said so far is that people have free will and their actions are, some are good and some are evil. And by the way, the Rambam writes explicitly that everyone has some good actions and some bad actions. Everyone. And he takes it for granted that there'll be a variety. And we talked about the fact that this world and the next world are asymmetrical. The next world is where the majority of a person's actions, which determine his identity, are compensated. For the righteous, they exist in the world to come and they're rewarded. And for those whose major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come.
Doesn't that sound hostile? Doesn't that sound unkind? I can give you some additional examples of hostile, unkind, disagreeable, right? Remember this Reuven guy, right? Remember this guy? Let me give you another example, right? Because he called us violent, but listen to him. Listen to how he articulate himself. He sound very hostile as he articulate himself. Here it is. Let me see here. Let's play just a little bit of this clip. Here we go.
It makes it seem as if they know more than everybody else. Similar to those Reshaim, those Israelites, these idiots, Goyim, that they're not idiots because they're Goyim, because there are many smart Goyim, but they happen to be one of the idiots among the nations instead of the righteous among the nations. Now these idiots have been making a bigger stink lately. I had a few people send me messages about them and say, oh, this is concerning anti-Semitism. Kanye West is talking about the Israelites. Now I know these morons from years ago. I remember when I lived in New York, you always had one of these Amaleks in the middle of the street wearing something that he bought from a costume store, and he's yelling and screaming the New Testament, but he's, pretending as if he's reading the Ten Commandments from Mount Sinai, and he's reading it in English because none of them know Hebrew. And, yelling at everybody that they're the righteous, they're the original Jews, they're the ones, and the Jews of today are fakers, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, at that time that I saw them initially, I didn't know anything about Judaism.
So all those name calling, right? But as you see here, unkind, hostile. Did he sound hostile to you guys? If that Reuven guy, I'm not going to call him rabbi, but he sound pretty unkind and hostile. The very thing that he was trying to accuse the camps is the behavior that he displayed. He called names, morons, idiots, made mockery of the clothing, then called himself trying to, in the so little words, illiterate. But yet he wanted to say that our community, are hostile. See, family, that's how they do. That's how this beast do. So manipulative that they can do whatever they want to do. They can insult whoever they want to insult. But yet, if you respond or if you say the same things or use their own sources, then they hide behind the phrase anti-Semitic, in which they still cannot give a full, clear answer on what anti-Semitism is. They cannot give a full, clear, concise answer about what anti-Semitic truly is.
Anti-Semitism is a hate against their religion. By the time you get to the 18th and 20th centuries, when so many Jews have assimilated, they are in culture, they are in arts, they're in science, it's no longer against them for their religion, it's against them for their race. Because anti-Semitism is the oldest hate in the world, and the hate that mutates.
So he said anti-Semitism is the hate that mutates. So they have a blank check to make it into whatever they say or want it to mean. But but you can't lock it down to any specific definition. Let me give you another example of hostility, unkind hostility.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there. I had last week a sit-down dinner in my house with people which are considered the leadership of the black community.
Here another example. I can give other examples, and I was going to give the garbage can. Let me go ahead and give the garbage can. So we got examples after examples, examples after examples after examples, right? But we're not going to stop here. We're going to let's see what diverse means. It says here, the sense of including and promoting persons of previously underrepresented minority identities. Let me say that again. Including and promoting persons of previously underrepresented minority identities. Representing persons of previously underrepresented minority identities. I do believe that they are representing identities that of the minorities, which you and I are the minorities, right? We are ancient Israelites. They're promoting themselves actually as being us. The 83rd book of Psalms, to make Israel the remembrance, or should I say, no longer in remembrance. The name of Israel, the name, the literal name, and the representation, the reputation, the characteristics, no longer in remembrance. That's, I mean, we can't get around it. Who is this beast? Who is this beast that will operate under the spirit of altering, changing, and manipulation? Who is this beast that will operate under the spirit of altering, changing, including, and promoting persons of previously underrepresented minority identities? Who is this beast? See, Daniel gave more information. Listen to what he says in verse 24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are the 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse. Shana, there we see that word again, Shana, from the first. He shall subdue the 3 kings. This beast, man, going to be diverse. This beast going to be very manipulative, going to be able to alter so many different things, times and laws. He shall subdue the 3 kings. And family, this is important for you to understand the 3 kings. The question is, who are the 3 kings? And what is the word subdue? Let's see what subdue means, right? Let's see what subdue means. It says to depress or sink, to humiliate, bring down, cast down, put down, be lower, bring lower, lay lower, make lower, put lower. So who is this beast? Who is this diverse beast that shall subdue the 3 kings? And the question is, who are the 3 kings? Who are the 3 kings? Well, let's answer this question. 2 Kings chapter 3, starting at verse 7. This beast is going to subdue the 3 kings. Who are the 3 kings? And he went and sent to Jehoshaphat, the king of Judah, saying, the king of Moab hath rebelled against me. Wilt thou go with me against Moab to battle? And he said, I will go up. I am as thou art, my people as thy people, my horses as thy horses. But here's the kicker. When we get to verse 9, you'll see. And he said, which way shall we go up? And he answered, the way through the wilderness of Edom. Notice verse 9. So the king of Israel, that's one king, that's the northern kingdom, went. The king of Judah, that's the southern kingdom, right? And then we see the king of Edom. Did this beast play both sides of the fence? This beast was able to subdue the 3 kings. Now, many of you guys will refer to them as who? Edomites. Even though we know that all the Edomites are not Caucasian people, but we do know a great group of people from a group of manipulative people groups took on the reputation of Esau. Then we also see the king of Israel. We see the king of Judah. So the king of Israel was responsible for the northern kingdom, right? And the northern kingdom initially was the 10 tribes. But then when Jeroboam just just really began to wild out, he took things even worse to King Solomon, right? He was so terrible, so bad, he had his own Jerusalem. He even created his own priesthood. The Levites fled to the true Jerusalem that was under the authority of the southern kingdom. Right? So the southern kingdom initially was Judah, the tribe, and the Benjamites, or the tribe of Benjamin. Then later, the Levites joined with them. So initially it was the 10 tribes of the north. The southern kingdom was 2 tribes. And also it says the kingdom of who? The Edomites. So did they not hijack the kingdom of Israel? Did they not hijack, subdue the kingdom of Judah? Did they not hijack and subdue the kingdom of Edom? If you agree, type 1. If you disagree, type 2. That's fine if you disagree. But we're reading scripture, and this beast hijacked it all. I just explained which scripture the kingdom of Judah, or what, the 3 kings that the prophecies talk about. I just explained to you with scripture. I didn't add, I didn't take away. I let the scripture speak for itself. All right, so let's see some of the results here real quick. And I can give some shout outs in the process. So Latrell, 1, agree. Ivan, 1, agree. Maureen Lenum Woodson, excuse me if I butcher your last name, but agree. My apologies. And Focus, agree. Mo, agree. Kate, agree. Let's see here. Tangi Ya, agree. I Am Peace, agree. Nonya Biz, agree. Berean Scholar, shout outs to my brother here, agree. Donna Jones, agree. Daily Repentance, agree. So far it's unanimous. Ariana, agree. Tana Rich, when our moderator, she agree. Jacqueline, Sister Jacqueline Waller, agree. Victor Murphy, agree. LaRonda, I mean, everyone agree. The scriptures made it clear. Agree. LaRonda, agree. Tanya, agree. Let's see, who else do we have it? Demona, agree. Timothy Price, agree. Shout outs to Ya's son. Thanks for holding it down in the chat. He agree. So we see right across the board, everyone agree. The scripture makes it clear that that group of people was going to be so manipulative that they're going to subdue all 3 kings. Yes, family. This is the part of the scriptures you don't hear many talk about, that Judah, Israel, and the Edomites came together to fight a bigger threat. There was a threat that they had to deal with that was more threatening, that didn't care about their differences, didn't care about beef between brothers. Family, there's a threat that don't care about our internal squabbles. That threat is already before us. And quick shout outs, I see a super chat here. Theoson Andrews said, thank you. I agree as well. So thank you for the love and support. And family, let's show some love and support. Let's give a shout out, special shout out. Show some love to Theoson for the contributions tonight. Really appreciate it. Hallelujah. And said, I agree as well. So it's unanimous. You can't get around it, family. It is unanimous. All right. And I see others still commenting, right? I see my buddy Jay Highstyle. Shout outs to my buddy Jay Highstyle holding it down. David Taylor holding it down. We see Daily Repentance. We see God Never Fails. We see Sadak, right? Excuse me, Sadak agrees. We see Sister Cynthia. We see that she agreed. So far everyone, this is unanimous. 3X agree. right? Mr. Nobody agrees. So far, every last person agreed. This is unanimous. Christy agree. I mean, every last person, everyone is in agreement. I can't read every last one of you guys because we're getting a lot additional responses here. And right now, we're pushing almost 800 people in the chat. So feel free to hit that like and subscribe button. And before we continue, family, I want to say this, right? If you can, put a comment in the comment section immediately after you sign off, put a comment inside the comment section. Hit that like button, right? What is that going to do? That's going to help with the algorithms. See, YouTube is making an assertive effort to suppress this channel, right? So what they have done, and you guys observed it as well, they've been unsubscribing people. So that's why the numbers have slowed off. It tapered because had they not done this, we'd be pushing close to 80,000 subscribers because of the pace that we were on. But they are unsubscribing people. I get emails all the time of people saying that they've been unsubscribed. So even if you think that you are already subscribed to the channel, double check and subscribe again. Periodically, I have people saying they have to do it 3 and 4 times. Check your notification, but also leave comments. The last few uploads, YouTube, within the first 24 hours, they kept disabling the comment section. How does that work? It has an effect on how the video is being recommended. It has an effect on all those things. That's how they suppress the video. And I'm going to cover a couple of things on that about the manipulation in this shortly when we get there. So if that comment section is open right now, put a comment in there. Put a comment in there. And that's going to help with the impressions. That's what they call it in Google, with YouTube, impressions. The more people respond and hit the like button, that's what boosts up the impressions. And because of that, that's what gets the videos into certain spaces. Share the video. All right. So anyway, and if you haven't clicked that thumb, click that thumb right now. We got almost 800 people in the building, and we should have at least 400 likes right now. We should have at least 400 likes. Whether you agree or disagree, right? Or whether you want to click like with the thumbs up or you want to click dislike, one way or the other, you still should be able to click that button. It doesn't cost anything. I'll say it again. It does not cost you anything. All right. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And if you are already subscribed, double check to make sure that you are still subscribed. All right. So let me just see where we are with the likes real quick. And then we'll continue here. Let me see here where we are with the likes with this video. All right, let's see here. All right, so right now we at 320. We're close. But family, let's get that 80. Hit that like and subscribe to the channel, but at least hit that like button. Let's get those likes to at least 400 right now. All right. But anyway, let's continue, family, and we'll monitor that as we progress. All right. So it says here, and the king of Israel said, alas, that Yahweh hath called these 3 kings together to deliver them into the hands of Moab. So the 3 kings are the king of Israel, Judah, and Edom. I just want to reiterate that. Then we go back to Daniel. Let's go to verse 25. Let's see what it says. And he is this beast that's good with manipulation. And he shall speak great words against the Most High and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. This is dealing with Israel. And think to change times and laws. Not just saying calendar times, the watches, it says times and laws. We see that happening before us right now. Look at some of the laws that are happening right now. That's all about them. And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times. So he shall speak great words against the Most High. Here's the Hebrew definition of great words. It says here, a word, command, discourse. All right. So let's see what discourse means. Discourse, process of understanding, reasoning, thought, a running about, conversation, reasoning, to run about, run to, and fro, hasten. Well, wait a minute. Doesn't that sound like someone trolling? Do you know that there's communities that have been trolling us, right? They've been trolling us. They constantly controlling us. They've been trolling with our identity, throwing it right in our face. They've been trolling us like that Reuven guy. They've been trolling us to and fro. That's the characteristics of a troll. That's what trolls do. When you look up the word troll, it says to go. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me pull it up here. I'm not even gonna just quote it. Let me just pull up this word troll. So for those that really don't understand what a troll is, let me pull that up real quick. Let me pull it up real quick, so you guys understand what trolling means. All right, so I'm going to pull this up. Let me do it this way. Oops. I want you guys to understand what a troll is. All right, and we got warned about trolls, but let's see what a troll is. Bear with me 1 second. Almost there. Let me pull this in. All right. You guys are going to be like, wow. I know some of you guys are going to be shocked, but I want to make sure you guys understand what a troll is. So I'm going to pull that in right now. Let me see. Troll. All right. Let's pull this one in right now. All right. Let's put this background in. All right. And let me put one more. Let me put the Merriam. We're going to do the etymological dictionary of what a troll is, but we're also going to do the Merriam, and you're going to see how it all ties in. It's going to make you think about a prophecy, a warning we was given. All right. Let me put the Merriam in here. All right. And let's go ahead and pull up this here. All right, let me paste this background inside this presentation, then we'll be good. All right, so let's see what a troll is. And it's going to tie into discourse, right? This beast, as you see, to run about, run to, run fro, and fro, hasten. All right, what happened here? Oh, I put it in the wrong slide. Let me pull it in here. I put it in the wrong slide. Let me put in the correct slide. About to say, I know I just added it. Let me put in the correct slide. Let me bear with me 1 second, family. We are almost there. All right, let's see. Let's put it right here. All right, there we go. All right, so let's back up. So we see discourse, as I just pointed out, to run about, run to, and fro, hasten. All right, and we also, yep, that's what I want to make sure we got it here. So we saw that. That's discourse. Then when we go to troll, notice what it says. To go about, stroll. All right. So a troll is causing what? Discourse. To go about, stroll, a hunting term, wander, to go in quest of game without purpose. So we see here game. This is dealing with prey. It's synonymous to prey in this text. All right. And then when we go to troll, to harass, criticize, antagonize, especially by provocatively disparaging, mocking public statements, posting, or acts. Are we not dealing with that as a people? Are we not being trolled by the very people, the name stealers? Right? Is this considered trolling, as I just pointed out? Let me play this guy again. Is this not trolling? Let me play the full clip of this this Reuven guy. Let's play the full clip right here. Let's play the full clip. Is this not trolling? Let's play it one more time. We'll play the full clip.
It makes it seem as if they know more than everybody else. Similar to those Reshaim, those Israelites, these idiots, Goyim, that they're not idiots because they're Goyim, because there are many smart Goyim, but they happen to be one of the idiots among the nations instead of the righteous among the nations. Now, these idiots have been making a bigger stink lately. I had a few people send me messages about them and say, oh, this is concerning anti-Semitism. Kanye West is talking about the Israelites. Now, I know these morons from years ago. I remember when I lived in New York, you always had one of these Amaleks in the middle of the street wearing something that he bought from a costume store, and he's yelling and screaming the New Testament, but he's, pretending as if he's reading the 10 Commandments from Mount Sinai. And he's reading it in English because none of them know Hebrew. And, yelling at everybody that they're the righteous, they're the original Jews, they're the ones, and the Jews of today are fakers and so on and so forth. Now, of course, at that time that I saw them initially, I didn't know anything about Judaism. So there's not much to argue here. I just knew they're idiots because just the way they behave. Today, Baruch Hashem, after Baruch Hashem, I've had enough time to learn enough that they're morons. Why are they morons? Because their entire premise of everything in regards to being an Israelite and the original Hebrews and they're black and all this racism, all of that can be crushed in literally just a few sentences. There's no need for a debate. I will never have a debate with one of these people because, again, they're violent people, both verbally and otherwise. I will never have a debate with one of these people because, again, they're violent people, both verbally and otherwise.
I will never have a debate with one of these people because, again, they're violent people, both verbally and otherwise.
So did you hear this troll? He called us idiots. He called us a number of names. He even called us Amalek. Amalek is related to Esau. So he basically called us Edomites. But he called us Amalek. Great choice of words, right? When you think about it, that was very selective. Amalek, because isn't that what they use? The term that they use, Amalek, for what's happening over in the conflict towards the Palestinians. So now he's using that same term, Amalek, who was, in a nutshell, the Most High told Moses to rehearse in the ears of Joshua what Amalek had done, and set them up to blot them out. And King Saul didn't follow instructions. This guy is a troll. He's trolling, and then had the audacity to say he'll never debate. I see why. It's easy to pick apart every argument, not some, every last one of his arguments. So a troll to harass, criticize, antagonize, especially by provocatively disparaging or mocking public statements, posting, or acts. So he's trolling, not just him. This beast, that is part of their this beast's attributes is to what? To troll. The attributes of this beast is to manipulate, right? In a nutshell, identity theft, troll. And we are being trolled. We are being trolled. We can't get around it. We are being trolled, family. We are being trolled. But we can't stop there, family, because, we was also warned about trolling. Yes, family, we was warned about trolls. We were warned. We were warned. We were warned about what these trolls do. Let me give you a warning real quick. Let me copy this over. let's give a warning. Let me pull it over here. I want to pull this passage up so we can understand that we were warned about trolls. Let's see here. Let me just copy this over. All right. Let's pull this over. And this is First Peter. Let me pull it over. All right. This is First Peter chapter 5, verse 8. I'm typing the footnote here so that way you guys can see it on the screen. Let's see what Peter said. Let's see what Peter said, how he warned about trolling. Because Peter did warn about trolling. Look at what it says. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, Shaitan, as a roaring lion, going to pretend to be the lion, going to have the likeness or the attributes, but not the lion. That's identity theft, right? Walking about, seeking whom he may devour. Is that a warning of trolling, family? Did Peter just warn us about trolling? That's trolling. That's the definition of what a troll is. We just use scripture to identify trolling. You know, that the disciples warned us about trolling. All right. So let's continue, family. Let's continue. Let's continue. All right. Wear out. Said that this beast is going to be so manipulative that he's going to be able to wear out the holy people of Yah. Look at so many brothers and sisters that look at identity, that look at this awakening as being a religion versus identity. You will hear that, well, I'm no longer an Israelite. That when you see that, you know that stranger danger come up, because that tells you that person was looking at this as a religion, not identity. May have gotten their feelings hurt by someone or a particular group, then all of a sudden making videos why I denounce or why I walked away, why I'm no longer an Israelite, because of being part of that manipulation. Now they become agents, so to speak. So let's see what this word means. And this is going back to wear out. As we see here, wear out. To fail, to wear out, decay, consume, use up completely. In other words, make us good for nothing. So this beast will create through manipulation, will create so much discourse through media that many would become worn out and be what? Good for nothing and give up. So let's look at some of the manipulations. Let's go to USA Today, right? My cousin Benaiah did a great video on this, and he touched on this a few nights ago. And I want to just highlight this here again, because this is some of the problems that I was dealing with. YouTube continues to push dangerous videos to users susceptible to extremism. White supremacy, reports find February 14, 2021. Look at what it says, family. YouTube, right? Matter of fact, I'll just read the bullets. We have clear policies that prohibit speech and harassment on YouTube, and terminated over 235,000 channels in the last quarter for violating those policies. YouTube's Joseph said, beyond removing content since 2019, we've also limited the reach of content that does not violate our policies but brushes up against. So it's saying, even though, and this is all subjective, and the ADL works closely with them. I didn't put the other link here, but Benaiah, I'll see if I could put the links here, see if I could find the link or and bring it over here. But he highlights, he showed the proof, the links of them stating that the ADL is working close with them to develop these policies. So when they develop these policies, right, these policies and procedures, then what they do, they actually create policies in terms of code, right, to be able to apply these policies to accounts. Some of you guys are techies here and you understand what group policies is from a Windows perspective. Group policies you can develop in a group policy to determine what type of things that you want to have enable, features that you want to have enable or disable. You can specify a timeline. You can specify a number of different things. So that's how I know that YouTube has applied a group policy to this account and other accounts. So we see here, right? Again, YouTube saying that they have limited the reach of content that does not violate our policies, but brushes up against it. Even though it's not in violation, but they still want to limit the reach of it. The line by making sure our system are not widely recommending it to those not seeking it. But why it has taken one of the, and this is actually the question about the thing. We don't need to get into all that. So again, the Hebrew Israelites are referred to as Black extremists. Actually, I didn't mention that, but I want you guys to understand. They viewed our community, this awakening as a whole, as being extremists. Right? This is coming from Foreign Policy, FBI's new U.S. terrorist threat, Black Identity Extremists, October 6, 2019. Notice what it says, family. It says, former government officials and legal experts said no movement exists, and some expressed concern that the term is part of a politically motivated effort to find an equivalent threat to white supremacists. And that's what they've been trying to do with this awakening, trying to find it, use this to basically fortify that term, Black Identity Extremists. Right? That's what they've been trying to do. Daily News, FBI warns Black Identity Extremists pose growing threats to law enforcement. October 7th, 2017, when actually it's the other way around. Imagine lumping together white nationals, white supremacists, militias, neo-Nazis, and calling it white identity extremists. The official said, the race card is being played here deliberately. Malcolm Nance, a counterterrorism expert who served in the U.S. Navy, wrote on Twitter, I train law enforcement, intelligence, and counterterrorism all over nation. Black identity extremism doesn't exist. It's a made-up term. See, this beast that's very good with manipulation, they came up with the term Black identity extremists. They came up with the term Black Hebrew Israelites. They came up with these terms, all these different terms, so that way they can have something to argue against. None of us call ourselves Black Hebrew Israelites. Any of you guys call yourself Black Hebrew Israelites? Because that in itself is a oxymoronic statement, because we all know that the Israelites are what? Negroes. Okay, let me pull this up here. Let me show you, let me play a short clip here about ancient bones being found where, right? I won't let the cat out the bag. I'll just play it for you so you can hear with your own ears of what they discovered. Let me pull it up here. Where is it? I just had it. Here it is.
Their bones were discovered in Kafse Caves near Nazareth in Galilee in 1933. 13 fragile skeletons, one a woman, a tiny baby at her feet.
You just heard it. And this is not dealing with Caucasians. These are Negroes. These are ancient Israelites, Israelite bones that they discovered. I want to give shout outs here real quick to Just Be You Like Me, Pastor Kelly, really appreciate all the work you put in, to each teaching, each video. Really appreciate it. Thank you for just be you like me. Thank you for the love and support, and just trying to do everything that I can to help our people break these chains of these strongholds that these oppressors have placed on us. But thank you for the love and support. Family, let's show some love and support to just be you like me. Also want to give a shout out to 392 Wide Body Swift. Didn't put a message, but they gave us a super chat. Let's give a shout outs to 392 Wide Body Swift. Family, let's show some love. Matrix 21. May the Father continue to bless us with wisdom and knowledge. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's show Matrix 21 some love. And also, again, Theo's son, excuse me. Let's show some love and support for Theo's son as well. Thank you for the love and support. All right. So we see here, and this was discussed on Capitol Hill. They had these discussions. You can go and look it up on C-SPAN and find these discussions. And this guy, Malcolm Nance, he gave a major pushback. There was a number of people in Congress saying that, in a nutshell, this label had an agenda, right? So again, going back to this article, USA Today, YouTube continues to push dangerous videos to users susceptible to extremism, white supremacy reports fine. So let's go back to this article. After an outcry from advertisers in 2017, YouTube banned ads from appearing alongside content that promotes hate or discrimination or disparages protected groups. YouTube limited recommendations on those videos. Wait a minute. So when I think about this, and notice what it says, and disable features such as commenting and sharing. And these are some of the complaints that you guys have posted, that you having issues with making comments, the comment section being disabled, the sharing is being disabled. You know, that is because, in a nutshell, YouTube, based upon ADL, is labeling any discussions that we're having using their own words. Here's the kicker: using their own video clips. They are considering that to be what? Extremism. That's why they are trying to suppress. That's why you see the numbers the way that it is. This is right across the board. And I know that and I thank you, Chris Bright, for recommending Rumble, but I'm telling you, they're targeting those places as well. Trust me. They are targeting those places as well. I can tell you they're targeting right across the board. That's really the reason why they're truly targeting TikTok as well. Come on now, if they're going to say that China is a threat and that's why they want to cancel TikTok, then stop selling land. Stop allowing them to buy up land in this country. Stop allowing China to purchase farmland, acres, thousands of acres of farmland in this country. If security, national security is a concern, then why are we selling property? Why are we selling tens of thousands of acreage of land to that community that is referred to as being communist? If that's the case, then show consistency across the board. So that tells you that who's behind that agenda, because they have no control of TikTok. They can't say, hey, if you say something about this, even though there's some things about TikTok I see, but they can't do anything that they want to TikTok. They don't have the manipulation. They don't have the influence. They cannot push certain agendas on there. All right. So again, YouTube limited recommendations on those videos and disabled features such as commenting on sharing, but it didn't remove. It didn't remove them. The company said the crackdown reduced views of supremacist videos by 80%. So when you think about it, if it's saying if it reduced the views by 80%, you guys saw the bump. You guys saw how I was started getting 50 to 100,000, in some cases 200,000 views. And guess what? They pumped the brakes on it. They pumped the brakes on it. You saw from December up until about 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, we were averaging over 6,000 subscribers a month. Now we've been sitting at 69 and some change for almost a month. Come on, family. That's part of what? The policies that they applied with labeling us extremists. So, family, why is that? The words of KRS-One. Why is that? They could talk about our community. Let me say that again. They can talk about our community. They can say all kinds of crazy stuff about our community. They can have blackface videos, the whole nine. Right? Shout outs to Jamil Ibrahim. Really appreciate the love and support. Appreciate the super chat, super sticker. Really appreciate it. So they can do that towards our community. They can talk bad about our community. They can say all kinds of things. They can do all those things, and guess what? Get a free pass. A free pass. Now, family, let's get into the DNA. I want to deal with Aaron Elhike. This is coming from this article that I've been using for almost 10 years. Out of Khazaria, evidence for Jewish genome lacking. Right? So let's see what this article says. Some of this you guys are already going to be familiar with, but I'm using it for a reason. Aaron Elhike, a geneticist at the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health, thinks so. In a recently published study in Genome Biology Evolution, he is calling for a rewrite of commonly held assumptions about Jewish ancestry. Instead of being primarily the descendants of the 12 tribes of Israel, present-day Jewish population finds Elhike primarily the children of a Turkish people who lived in what is now called Russia, north of Georgia, east of Ukraine. This civilization of Khazars converted from tribal religions to Judaism between the 7th and the 9th century. The controversy cut into Elhike's works run deep. Far past the lab bench, among some circles, his conclusions are bound to be unpopular. As we know, it's unpopular. It's unpopular because now that community is now pushing that if you make any type of comments about them being being related to the Khazarians, that can be considered anti-Semitic. This is the first scientific paper to prove the Khazarian hypothesis and reject the Rhineland hypothesis, he says. And without it, 40 years of research, although his finding will not be welcome in circles, Elhike's interest is more medical than political. All right, but let's fast forward here. Let's fast forward. He goes on to say, previous studies had, for example, combined the question of similarity among and between Jewish populations, the question of ancestry, relatedness to non-Jewish populations. Elhike viewed these questions separately. Jewish communities are less homogeneous than is popularly thought, he says. With Jewish communities along the former Khazarian border showing the most heterogeneity, his second question centered on ancestry. When comparing Jewish communities to their non-Jewish neighbors, Caucasus or Levant, in other words, the Middle East. Notice what it says, Caucasus or Levant. Now, Levant, Middle East, that's Northeast Africa. Populations which is the closest to Jews. And this is the question that he's asking. He says, in other words, population. In other words, which of these two are closest to Jews? The Caucasians, the Levant, in other words, the Middle East, which is closest to the Jews? All Eurasian Jewish communities are closer to Caucasus populations, he writes, with Central Europe Jews or European Jews closer to Italian non-Jews as the exception. Not one of the 8 evaluated Jewish populations were closer to Levant populations. So he's saying that not one of these Jewish communities that was evaluated by way of DNA was related to Northeast Africa. Let me say that again. He is saying that not one of the Jewish communities, these out of the 8, he said not one of the 8 evaluated Jewish populations were closest to Levant, in other words, Northeast African populations.
Most Egyptologists and anthropologists, archaeologists of the Eurocentric persuasion will say that Egypt is in Africa. They had to concede that, but then they still draw the line by saying that they weren't Africans like that. In other words, they weren't dark-skinned people. And of course, this is all part of the Great Deception. And the reality is that if they give up Egypt, ancient Kemet, if they give that up and say that that was a part of Black Africa, then they will also have to give up Israel. And that's why they draw the line at Egypt, because if they give up Egypt, they've got to give up Israel.
Now, we're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you where Israel sits on the African tectonic plate, which means that Israel is Northeast Africa. Now, when we look at this map, this is the Sinai, okay? This is the Red Sea. This is Egypt. This is the Sinai. This is Israel.
Oh, so you guys are getting those sounds. See, that's some of the things that they're doing. No sound. Let me try real quick one more time. I'll try that second video again. See, that's the other thing. That's part of their policies. Let's try one more time. This is the second half of that video.
All right, this is Saudi Arabia over here. Now, if you see this in Hebrew, it says Haluak Afrikani, the African plate. Here it is right here. Israel is sitting right here. Israel is sitting on the Haluak Afrikani, which means that Israel is Northeast Africa.
Without question, we are in Northeast Africa. We are landlocked to Egypt, with the exception of the Suez Canal, which was a man-made ditch, a boundary now between, in fact, it's not even really a boundary anymore since Egypt has reclaimed the Sinai Peninsula. But nevertheless, even those of us who are Pan-Africanists in our thinking and Afrocentric, we forget and we leave off that portion of Northeast Africa and don't want to claim anything beyond that.
Europeans classified this area as the Middle East. You know, and then since this the Middle East, the other question, where the Middle West? Where the Middle North and where the Middle South? They don't have no geographical terms like that.
So, family, that is the Middle East deception, right? But anyway, not one of the 8 evaluated Jewish populations were closer to Levant populations. In other words, Northeast Africa. So not a single Negro or African group was included in any of their testing. They were very selective of the Eurasian people groups they chose in an attempt to manipulate their expected outcome. Right? So I'm going to play this in a second, but I want to pull a video up here. Let me pull a video up here. And we'll toggle back over to this here. And let me pull up a video because I do want to share a video. And we'll toggle back over. Let's get those likes up. Let me make sure. Let me refresh this to make sure the likes are reading accurately. All right, family. Appreciate it. We have 445. Let's see if we could get it to 500 likes here and subscribers. Now, let's get to this video here. I want to share this video. Let's see here. Oh, that's not what I want. Let's go here. All right. This is one of the videos that they have been suppressing. But I'm going to start with this video. This video is Bassem Youssef, Israeli, white like U.S., and stole Yemenite DNA. Family, if you haven't, I encourage you guys, go there, put a comment in the comment section. That'll help knock down the suppression of the video. All right. But let me pull it up here. All right. So I'm going to pause here. Matter of fact, let me get to a certain area that I want to get to. All right. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me get to a certain point. Let me go to a section here. Now, let me share this. All right, let's bring this over. So I'm going to stop this share, and I am going to, let me stop this here. And let me bring in another. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. Oh, you may not hear the music, the audio. Let's see. Let's try it. If not, do I have it on this? I just thought about it. I think I backed it up to my drive because you may not be able to hear the audio. I want to test it out, family. If you can't hear the audio, let me know. Because I backed up my hard drive and I think I removed the video from this computer. Let me double check to make sure. All right, let's see. Yeah. All right, let me try to play the audio. If not, family, we're going to have to press past it because I don't have my video here. All right, let's try it this way. All right, let me know if you guys can hear if you guys can hear it. All right, here we go. I'm going to play it. If you guys can hear it, type 1. If you cannot hear it, type 2. Here we go. All right, so it looks like you guys can't hear it. Okay. And it's all good, family. I don't have my hard drive in front of me. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have my hard drive in front of me, so I can't play it. All right, so we'll do it another time because I will have to run upstairs to 3 levels of steps, and I don't feel like doing it right now and get my hard drive. So don't worry about it, family. We'll just move on from here. Let me bring my slide back up. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see here. All right, let's bring this back up. All right. So going back here, and let me stretch this out. Let's continue. So even in like a few months back, and it's the interview is on Benea's channel. We had an interview with this geneticist, this Ashkenazi Jewish geneticist, Aaron Elhike, to explain genetic distances, right? And so he explained it, but this here is what genetic distances is. He explained it, and it's still tied into this source that I'm going to share with you about what genetic distances is. So a large part of the study, and this is dealing with Ashkenazi Jewry, because one of the ways that they were trying to prove that the Ashkenazi Jewish community as part of the people of the book is they use this genetic distances. This is their way of trying to justify why there's so many different people groups within the Jewish community and they all look different. All right. So this is explaining genetic distances, and I'm going to read it. And family, if you don't have this book, I encourage you guys to purchase this book. It's a great book. A large part of this study was devoted to the determination of genetic distances between the two different populations. Through this method, genetic markers from different Jewish populations are compared. The smaller the relationship, the more differences in DNA may have arisen. Such differences are called distances. So 75, in other words, Caucasian populations, based on 9 markers, the genetic distance analysis showed that the European Jews were closest to the inhabitants of Thrace, the region shared by Bulgaria, Greece, and Turkey. Bulgarian Jews came next, followed by 36 non-Jewish populations. And only then, the second Jewish population, the Iranian Jews. Other results showed a large Italian component to the gene pool. All right, family, a large, and see, this is some significant information, right? Because some of the things that's not included here in any of their so-called testing and formulas and I mean, they did not include our people in it. No, these different ways of testing, these different formulas that they come up with, they did not use or anyone from our community as part of their testing. All right. So let me do something real quick. I'm going to try to see if I can work around this by downloading my own video. All right. So hopefully the performance doesn't lag for doing this. All right. And then I'll show you some of the clips. I'll let you hear some of what it said. All right. So while that's downloading, it's going to be about, it's going pretty quick. So another couple of minutes. All right. So let's go back here though. So it says dealing with this genetic distances, testing these different Ashkenazi, these different groups is in a nutshell is telling us about the Ashkenazi Jewish community. All right. It says here, let's go back. It says from all these results, this is key. It says from all these results, it appears genetically the different Jewish communities do not have much in common, right? And this is definitely making it clear about DNA. This has nothing to do about religion. It's all about DNA. Let me read it one more time. Let me go back. From all these results, it appears genetically the different Jewish communities do not have much in common.
Today, it is prohibited, and you can Google this, to do a DNA test in Israel. Totally forbidden. Wrong. It's illegal. It's a crime. You'll be jailed if you do a DNA test in Israel. Why? Because they know the truth will come out. You come from Poland, you come from Ukraine, you came from Europe, you came from everywhere else. And they were the original Middle Eastern Jews who lived together with the Muslims and the Christians for centuries. For centuries. So what happened to a lot of the Jews?
I think that is. Why is Israel so...
All right, so family, I'm going to play this clip. I want to play this clip. I want you to listen to this clip. Let me shrink it down some now that I have it up. I want to go to a certain section here. Let's see if we're there.
Integrating themselves from some other community.
2013, they have confessed to it would actually give...
It's about...
Well, I mean...
let's rewind a little bit.
Are white. I think, again, in America, most Jews do whatever community they want to be in by removing themselves and denigrating themselves from some other community. Right. I find that problematic.
You know, so this is how...
All right.
By removing themselves and denigrating themselves.
All right, here we
from
go,
some
family.
other
Listen
community.
closely.
I find that problematic.
Genetically speaking, are Jews white?
Because they're white like them? Are they allowed to...
Who's white?
Well, I mean, a lot of Americans consider Israel is the white...
But you know for a fact
I know.
Most Israelis are Sephardic and are brown.
It's the perception.
So it's bullshit.
It's the perception.
Exactly.
It's a perception, you know. So this is how Israel promotes itself. We are a democratic country. I have never seen a secular or democratic country that would actually give contraception shots to its own citizens, to their Ethiopian Jews, and make them not to reproduce. And until 2013, they have confessed doing that. They have been doing this for 10 years. That is not a democratic country.
They also have 130,000 Ethiopians. Now, in this case, the Ethiopians are Jewish, so it does.
He pointed out the illegal drugs that was forced upon the Ethiopian Israelites, right, to sterilize them, to keep them from reproducing. All right, but I want you to also listen to another thing that he says.
Percent.
Let's see.
They were told they had to.
Let's get to
reproduce. And until 2013.
All right, let's rewind.
Democratic country.
Listen close, family.
I have never seen a secular or democratic country that would actually give contraception shots to its own citizens, to their Ethiopian Jews, and make them not to reproduce. And until 2013, they have confessed doing that. They have been doing this for 10 years. That is not a democratic country. I have never heard a secular country, a democratic country, that would kidnap little kids from Yemeni Jews in 1950 and then take them away and then tell their parents that they die. And they did that in order to instill Semitic DNA in their population. That's why DNA testing is not allowed in Israel. Heard a secular country reproduce, and until 2013, they have confessed doing that. They have been doing this for 10 years. That is not a democratic country. I have never heard a secular country, a democratic country, that would kidnap little kids from Yemeni Jews in 1950 and then take them away and then tell their parents that they die. And they did that in order to instill Semitic DNA in their population. That's why DNA testing is not allowed in Israel.
All right, family. Did you guys catch that? Did you guys catch that? So he said that in 1950, in a nutshell, they were taking kids, kidnapping kids from Yemen, the Yemenite Israelites, and was doing that, basically taking them to incorporate their gene, their DNA into theirs. All right. So let's go back to the slide here. Let's continue. All right, I'll get to that in a second. I just thought about it. And family, that's why I played the Limba video, because the Limba makes it clear that they're connected to the ancient Yemenite people, which is also connected to Israel. They're, so they made it a point to mention that they are connected to the Yemenites. And so that's why this is very important to hear how certain people, groups were being kidnapped and taken to Israel, so that way they can basically take their DNA and incorporate it into their gene pool. All right. So the next thing we have to ask the question of, when did the Jewish community become a race? What is race? But I'm not going to get into this portion of it. I really don't want to get into this. But I do want to get to a certain part. Right? This is an article on Jewish, the publication, The Forward. This is a Jewish publication. Can 23andMe tell me if Jews are a race, and is that a good thing? And notice what he says here. Ashkenazic Jews often find themselves in the peculiar situation of being 90% Ashkenazi Jew and 99% European. That's straight to the point, family. This is a Jewish publication, and they are making it clear the Ashkenazi Jewish community, it says here, 90% Ashkenazi, but then it goes on to say 99% European.
I was told welcome home because I'm Jewish. Every single person who's Jewish that steps off the plane, especially for their first time in Israel, is told welcome home. Let's just sit with that for a second. This right here, this is my actual ancestry. I am 88% Ashkenazi Jewish, and none of my ancestors are from the Middle East.
So he made it clear, and many of them, this is why it's being restricted in those spaces, is because this is what many are finding out. So many are finding out they have no connection to Israel at all. No connection. But this is The Forward. This is their Jewish publication. He said 90% Ashkenazic Jewish and 99% European. Let me read it again. Ashkenazi Jews often find themselves in the peculiar situation of being 90% Ashkenazic Jewish and 99% European. Sephardic Jews may be told they are mostly Middle Eastern and North Africa, and less than 10% Ashkenazic. Stuart Schaufman, a travel writer and blogger who writes under the name, not going to say it out loud, said he brought a kid from 23andMe because even though his family insists they are exclusively Jewish, he thought there was a possibility that he had some non-Jewish ancestry. And now he's giving his testimony. I was curious because you never know, Schaffman said. Family stories are just stories. Schaffman, who learned that he is 99.8%, so basically almost 100% Ashkenazi Jewish, said the test hasn't made much of a difference on his sense of Jewish identity. Judaism really informed me of who I am, my values, my worldview, Schaffman said. 23andMe hasn't made me more or less Jewy at all. I'm just Jewy. Schaffman added he's Jewy and white. While other Jews, Sephardic Ethiopians can't claim this distinction, he's an ethnic minority, but a white one nonetheless. And notice this, what he says. I get all the benefits of white privilege, he acknowledged. All right. So, family, that's his testimony. That is his testimony. That is his testimony. So he made it clear, right? His DNA came and showed up that he has no connection. No connection. But yet he still carried the title of being a Jew, Jewish. Now, with that being said, I want to show you guys another DNA test, right? The results that was done by a group that's associated with Dr. Aaron Elhake. I uploaded my raw results here about a year ago. So I want to share with you a couple of things that came up in the raw results, which is pretty interesting. Let's see let's see the results. What is my ancient origin DNA results? Now, family, I did this a few days ago, but I did it directly from their website. I took the video down because it shared my personal information. I didn't know it was going to default and go right to my personal information. So the video is taken down. So that's why it's not on the video list. But anyway, it said that I had a connection to Simeon, right? It said, let me pull it up here. 5% Manis, 5% Tamerul, 5% Zelman. So it's saying that I have a similarity to Simeon, right? So at the bottom of the page, you see Manis listed here, 5%. Now, of course, it doesn't list the other two here, which I believe it should list the other two within this pie chart. Had they done that, I'm pretty confident that this number would go up. But anyway, not getting into all the specifics, this is their site. So 5%. So it's based off of Manis, 5%. So right now it's at 5%. That's dealing with Simeon. All right, so let's go to Levy. This was the other one that came up, right? And as you see, it points out Hophni, right? Pesha, Aviva, Harum, Batka, Sered, Ada. All right, so let me clear my throat. Now, this number fluctuates, but right at this screen print here, I went backwards. 15%. I'm trying to clear my throat. My throat is dry right now, family. Let me clear it real quick. Man, all this time, no sound. Oh, sorry about that, family. Sorry about that, family. All this time, you guys are going with no sound. All right. Let me just do a crash. Let me go back over. Can you guys hear me again? Okay, no sound at Levy. Let's rewind it, family. I'll just summarize it real quick. Let's go back to Levy. Let's go back to Levy. Actually, I'll just show Simeon. So it says Simeon, 5%. Levy, 15%. So that's 20%. Then we see Judah. And when we go to the pie chart, 10%. So that's 30%, family. So it's saying that, and that's just 3 of the tribes. That's all I saw there thus far. So that's 30%. 30%, according to them, 30% Israel when you combine those 3 tribes together. Can you guys hear me? Did the sound go back out? Okay. So family, you see it here. This is coming from their site. Now, as you see, the average Ashkenazi Jewish person at the max, their DNA may be 1 to 1.2, 1.3%. But thus far, just off of 3 tribes, we're talking 30%. It's not even, I didn't see results on the rest of them, but we see that it's saying that I am what? Connected to Judah. So we can do the DNA test, but it doesn't matter for us, but they don't have to show DNA. They can say, just like what this guy said right here. Let's go back to this one right here. They can say stuff like this and get away with it. Let's go back to this guy right here. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is.
Does having Jewish DNA determine your Jewish status? Great question. The answer is your Judaism is determined by your mother. If your mom's Jewish, you're Jewish according to traditional Judaism. Now, you can have a very high count of Jewish DNA, and that's awesome. That means you're connected to the Jewish people, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're Jewish. Don't forget, there are people that convert to Judaism and they have 0 DNA and they're 100% Jewish.
So he's saying they can have 0 DNA and be 100% Jewish. I showed you a publication from the Jewish publication Forward, and they said the average Ashkenazi person, Jewish person, here, I'll go back here. I don't even want people to think that I'm twisting the words around. Let's go back here. It says, right? Ashkenazi Jews often find themselves in the peculiar situation of being 90% Ashkenazi Jewish, 99% European. So out of this 99% European, it's saying 90% Jewish. It's just saying that this is the average. Their average DNA is 99% European, which means that they just have that 1%. What is that 1%? So at the max, 1%. Go to point to the Middle East, if it even does that. Right? So with my DNA, based upon this source, let's go back here. My DNA, just off of Judah alone, has far more. If we add them all together, it's still going to be more. Right? Right now, that's 30%. That's not even counting any of the other tribes. Which leads me to what the Limba said. Let's see what the Limba said about the questionable testing that they were subjected to. All right, let me pull it up here.
Today, it is prohibited, and you can Google this.
Was definitely
now, family. Listen what Kohen Hamadishi. He's an elder. He called me up.
Shalom, greetings,
left
my
me
brother.
a voice message.
This is Kohen Hamadishi.
He's an elder
from Zimbabwe.
He's Limba.
I've been trying to get hold of
I want you guys to listen to what he said. I'm gonna pause it.
Yeah, I want
you guys to listen to what he says. Now he's going to explain the Yemenite, but he's also going to explain the DNA. The DNA. I think I have it in here. Let me make sure. It's 7:15. Let's see if we have it here. I believe I do. Let me go to here.
In their population. That's why DNA
to Israel.
All right.
So
yes, here. So let's do two parts. Let's do the connection to the Yemenite Israelites. Listen closely.
Shalom, Dr. Kelly. Shalom, greetings, my brother. This is Kohen Hamadishi from Zimbabwe. I've been trying to get hold of you, but in vain. I want to respond to what to your question about us, the Lemba people, coming from the white man. I don't know where they got that information from. Whoever gave them that information did for a purpose. Maybe wanted to get some financial assistance and financial help, or so, I don't know. Was definitely, we are not from the white person. We are not. This can be traced, this can be investigated, whether using the DNA or using the oral history. And you can use any type of way, research you can use. You will never find us being from the white Jews. The nearest you can get us is with the Yemenite Jews in Yemen. Those are our people. Those are our blood. Those are our kin who we left in Yemen when we went to Africa. We will not deny that. But we share the same names. We share the same features. We share everything with them. Those are our people, not the white men. It's wrong. It's totally wrong.
I have never heard a secular country, a democratic.
So you see, family, right? Because some of the narratives that was being pushed saying that the Lemba stated or said that they are the original white men or something to that effect, or that they come from white men. And you hear from the words of the elder, one of the elders from the Lemba, making it clear that they never said that. That is completely made up. He said whoever said that must have been paid off, because they never said that. All right. So he's very adamant about that. But I want you to listen to another thing about the issues that they had with DNA. Let's fast forward. Let's see here.
What's interested in us.
I'm gonna cue it up.
In their population. That's why DNA,
here it is.
That's why DNA testing is not allowed in
fair
Israel.
use.
The government of Israel got interested in us. So because of my office also in the parliament, they also approached me, the government of Israel. Said, can you help us to collect some samples of DNA? We want to do our own test, because we are hearing about your claim that you are Jews, but we want to do our own test on you. So I told them that it's not easy to go and tell someone that I want to collect your blood. It's not easy. So no, we don't take blood. We take saliva. So oh, that's okay. So they sent me a kit from Tel Aviv. Then I collected some saliva, DNA samples. It was about 200 from the Lemba and about 60 from non-Lembas. And I sent it to Israel. So a year later, I went there to Israel to collect the results. And I met a guy at a hotel called the Ramat Rashe Hotel in Jerusalem. So he gave me the results. So he said, we were talking, we're sitting in the lounge. He said, do you see that? Because in Israel, there's a lot of black people, black boys doing the manual work. They sweep the roads, they run around, they sweeping, cleaning the hotels and all that. So there was one black boy, I think he's from Sudan or Ethiopia. He said, look at, you see that boy? I said, yes. He said, his DNA percentage is about 26%. So he said, but with us here,
Listen close, family. He said the initial result came back 26% when they were tested. 200 of them were tested. The initial results came back 26%. All right, let's continue.
If you look at me, I'm a Jew, but my percentage is 1.5%. That's my DNA percentage.
Now he's saying that Ashkenazi Jews, 1.5%. He's even stated that the person that tested him was 1.5%. I believe it's lower, but nevertheless, 1.5% versus 26% versus 30%, which using the latest DNA, ancient origin or DNA origin. All right, but let's continue.
But with those samples you sent to us, they reveal that the labor percentage is 70%, 70%.
So he's going to break it down even more. So now he's saying it's 70%. So they tested them 3 times because it went from 26% to 40-something percent to 70%. And what they were doing is they were adjusting, making whatever modifications, I believe, to try to reduce the number, to shrink that number. But every time they try to make adjustments to the test itself, instead of the numbers decreasing, they continue to increase. Here we go.
Not only that you are Jews, but that your blood is only found in the Levites. Not only in the Levites, but in the Kohanim, in the priests of Israel. So that's what he told me. Then I thought maybe he was going to give us an official something written that this.
Now listen here. He's saying he thought that they were going to give them official, right? Because they tested them a 4th time and they never gave them the final results. And in this discussion here, I was part of this discussion. It was live on Sister E's channel. He is stating that they never came back and gave them an official final letter after they tested them a 4th time. Why is that? You can see why DNA is forbidden. But 70%. So who knows? It probably skyrocketed from 70% to probably in the 90s. Because each time they adjusted, it basically added, 20 to 30%.
So this is our findings. But up to today, they haven't given me the results.
So why do you think that is? Why is Israel so aligned with Israel? I'm sorry.
So family, they never gave them their final results. They never gave them their final results. And that's the point. They never gave them their final results. Let me give a quick shout out here. All right, I saw a Cash App. All right, let's see here. Niggas Malaka Adaya. Want to say thank you for the love and support. Their days are numbered. Lies are temporary. Truth is forever. Leaping, bringing out the truth. Cause we woke now, and we are the people. So, yep. Thank you for the love and support, sis. Really appreciate you. And family, let's show some love for Malaka. Really appreciate you. All right. Thank you for the contribution tonight. All right, family. So we see it. Just what you have on your screen. You heard with Cohen Hamadishi's own words, the shystiness, the experience that they had to deal with. All right. And I gave you proof right here that the DNA is much higher than 1.5%. Just on Judah alone. Let's zoom in Judah again. Let's zoom in Judah. All right, here we go. Your average genetic similarity to the tribe of Judah is 10%. All right. So as you see here, NECA, let me go back. What happened? There we go. NECA, right? Make me think of my NECA. All right. Anyway, let me leave that alone. Right. And this is the person that they are saying that is a close connection to, at least 10%. And that's the chart, 27%, 16%, 7%, 5%, 5%, 5%. But nevertheless, family, here's another test that proves that I am connected to the people of the book. If I am connected, then that means that you are connected. You are connected. We are the people of the book, family. Can't get around it. Can't get around it. But we can show all kinds of DNA proof, even though now they're saying that it doesn't matter, that you can have all the DNA in the world. And it says someone that has no DNA ties can be considered Jewish. This person right here.
Does having Jewish DNA determine your Jewish status? Great question. The answer is your Judaism is determined by your mother. If your mom's Jewish, you're Jewish according to traditional Judaism. Now, you can have a very high count of Jewish DNA, and that's awesome. That means you're connected to the Jewish people, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're Jewish. Don't forget, there are people that convert to Judaism and they have zero DNA and they're 100% Jewish.
Now, did you hear that craziness? That's proving that Judaism, everything that's being done is based upon religion, not anything about genetics. Everything that he just said is a religion associated by religion, not being blood descendants of Israel. All right. And so the website, I know I'm getting asked questions. Me personally, family, now I'll be honest with you, the site is it's not as clear as it should be in terms of the information. So you can peep it out, but in order for you to really benefit from the site in terms of information, the data that's there, you have to, pay for the entire plan. So that way, all the things that are there can be unlocked. But anyway, I'm not trying to endorse it. I'm not trying to throw shade at it either. But at the same time, this is another source that proves that we are the people of the book. Here it is. We are the people of the book. All right. I think that's the last slide. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. Yep, that is the last slide. We'll stop right here, family. This is because the brother is tired. I am sleepy. I am sleepy. And I am about to take it down. I can barely keep my eyes open. Got bags under my eyes. Wife and I doing all what we did overnight, basically. But nevertheless, family, as you see, here goes another DNA proof that I'm connected to Israel. Period. Now, family, I'm going to put this out there. Did I just prove? Matter of fact, I'm going to do a poll. I could pull up other DNA. Let me see here. I'm just putting I want to put a poll here. I didn't want to go into the studio. Let me put a poll here. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. Let's pull up a poll. And I may even put a couple of more results in here, some screenshots. So let's do this poll real quick. And while you guys are polling, I'm going to pull up a couple of more screenshots. All right, let's see here. All right, let's put the poll here. All right, let's see. Let's see here. All right, so I'm going to put this poll here. Here we go. And while you coming up with that, let me close some of these out and let me pull up another. Let me see if I could get another presentation here that shows some DNA connections. I didn't realize I had a lot of these windows open. Let me close some of these windows. All right, let me close this one. Close this one. All right, now let me see if I can. I'm going to pull up a couple of more results. Screen prints, that is. Let me see here. Let me just do it real quick while you guys were polling. 23. All right, let's see here. I think it's this one. Let me make sure. Or is it the Stanton one? All right, this is what we do. Because it was 23andMe and GEDmatch and a few others that I did. Let me see here. 23 and nope, it's not that one. Let me try another one. I think it's under I think it's under this True Identity one. Let me see it here. Thought it was under this one, family. All right, let me try it again. I'm just trying to find it. I thought it was here. If not, we'll do it another time. All right, I want to check excuse me, a couple more. And if not, we'll just call it a wrap. All right. Let's try another one. I thought it was on this one. Let's see if it's under this one. If not, family, we'll just call it a wrap. But I just thought I had it. I thought I had it here. And family, if you want proof that lineage starts with the father, that's Numbers chapter 27, starting at verse 8 through 11. But I'm trying to find, is it this one? It may, nope. Nope, it's not this one. Yeah, family, we may have to call it a wrap. We may have to call it a wrap. Because I thought I can find it. Let me see if it's under this one. If not, we will call it a wrap. Actually, I think I have found it. Nope. It's not it. It's old. Yeah, family. I'm really gonna have to. I have to do it another time. I'm gonna try one more slide. If not, we'll do it another time. Because, like I said, it's taking a lot of time. Let me see. Let's try it one more time. Let's see here. Identity theft. Mistaken identity. True identity, black and ashy. Jacob and Esau. I think this one I already saw, but let me pull this one up. All right, let's see. I may have it if... Yeah, fam. I was trying to find my DNA results, my 23andMe results. I thought I had a screen print. So that way it shows my connection to the Igbos, which it does. But I'm not seeing it already saved, and I'm tired. We'll do this another time, family. We'll do it another time because it's not straight to the simple as I thought it would be. All right. Did I find it? Nope. I thought I did. Yeah, we'll do it another time, family. But we're going to go ahead and shut it down. I don't want to prolong this live. Again, I thought I had it here, but I don't want to prolong the live. But with that being said, family, really appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. Let's look at the poll as we get ready to take it down because I am tired. Let's look at it. Let's look at the poll. But before we do so, let me give a shout out to Miss Tippy Lou. Thank you for the super sticker. And thank everyone for the love and support tonight. All right. So let's look at the poll. Let's see what you guys said. 97% says that DNA proved that I'm an ancient Israelite. 91% said yeah. 9% said no. It is what it is. You know what I mean? The DNA proves it. Regardless of the 9%, I expect there'll be some trolls that's going to say no. But DNA makes it clear. My heritage makes it clear, which I didn't go into because my oral tradition within my family, handed down to me, tells me that I am an Israelite, period. So I know it's a 9%, but still, the majority of you guys agree. Majority of you guys agree. So, like I said, I was going to show more DNA results, but again, it's trying to find it out of these presentations. I just don't feel like it. It's taking time. Not saying I don't feel like I'm trying, but we'll do it another time, family. But with that being said, you guys be encouraged. You guys be encouraged. Look at some of the older videos. I think I would not think I know that I have it there. You know, matter of fact, you know what I just thought about? Let me try it a different way. If not, we'll call it a wrap. Let's try it a different way. I may be able to do it a different way. I think I have some screen prints. Let me just try it real quick. If it works, then we're in business, and I'll show you you guys some additional. If not, it is what it is. All right, let's try it this way. I just thought about it. All right, let's see here. Let's do the DNA. All right, is it this one? No, that's that. All right, let me pull it up here. I think I may have found it. All right, let's see here. All right, let's pull this one up. All right, even though this is grayed out, not grayed out, it's dark, but I have one here. Let's pull this one in, and I may be able to pull in Jet Match as well. Let's pull this in. This is 23andMe, family. This is 23andMe. Let's pull this into the background. All right, let's see here. All right, I want to go to the next slide. Here we go. Can you guys see that, family? This is from Jet Match. If you guys can see this, type 1. If you guys can see this, type 1. I'm gonna zoom it in. Right, I don't have the page rip over it. Let me see if I can do it that way. All right, let's do it this way. 23. I think this may be the page rip. Let me see. Yep. Let's pull this in. I'm gonna put this over so that you guys can see it. Let me do it this way. See, family, you know, always have receipts. All right, so let me bring this up so you guys can see it. Right, this is what's grayed out. Let's see if you guys can see this on your screen. All right, you know me, I got to be a little fancy with it. Now, do you guys see where it says Igbo? If you guys can see where it says Igbo, type 1. All right. So here's another, not one, but here's a second one. Igbo, and we already know that the Igbos were confirmed to be Israelites. Period. Right? Matter of fact, what's his name? All right. You guys remember this memorandum from Henry Kissinger on what he said about the Igbos? Right? I got all the information, but just the Igbos. Look at what he said about the Igbos. Right? For the 10%. This is what he said about the Igbos. The Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa. Didn't say might be, didn't say maybe. He says the Igbos are the wandering Jews from Africa. Let me bring it back up. The Igbos are the wandering Jews from Africa. Even though I don't like the word Jew, but just for the sake of conversation, as you see here, And I can post this inside the comment section. Let me post it right now so you guys can look at it for yourself and use it as a source of reference, a point of reference. All right, so let me put it here. All right, there it is. So I gave you two witnesses. All right, let me see if I can give you one more. I'll give you one more. GED. Let's give you one more. This is GEDmatch. Even though I got another one, I could do the ancient DNA, but I'm going to do GEDmatch. Let's see what GEDmatch say. And you'll see GEDmatch will, a third DNA test, going to prove that I am connected to the Limba. Here we go. Let's put this in the back. There we go. Now let's copy this over. Come on, family. We're not playing up in here. Sources. All right. That's what you see here. Let me zoom it. All right. And guess what? Let's go to the next slide. There you see Limba. Right. And this fluctuates between, sometimes it'll say 7-8%, and we also see 9%, but this says Limba. All right. Let's see here one more time. One last one. Let's do the ancient. Let's see here. We did the ancient origins. Let's see here. Let me see here. Ancient DNA Harvard. That's not it. All right, but I gave you a couple of them. I gave you 3. I have more. So in the ancient, the ancient ancestry, that one, I was trying to find it here. The ancient ancestry one, it shows the Limba results, but it's like down at 5%, 5 and some change. Ancient DNA ancestry, something like that. A true ancient truth, something like that. I get it mixed up, but that one has, even closer, has it to 5% for the Limba. All right, so family, here it is again. I gave you proof. I'm going to take it down. I know I said it before. I don't want to sound like the song that never ends, but I am really getting ready to take it down. So I gave you guys three pieces of proof, three different sources. All right. 3 sources. Let me see here, looking here. All right. So, yep, I proved it. You know what I mean? You're going to have the handful that's going to say what they want to say. But guess what, family? We got proof right here. Show me that community over there, that Israel, doing what I just did here tonight. Because what you're hearing from them, they saying it doesn't matter. DNA doesn't matter. Show me any of them that's showing these high percentages here. I just showed you coming from an Ashkenazi Jewish geneticist, making it clear with Judah alone, 10%. So anyone that say I didn't prove, show me them proving it. Show me them even having that type of percentage in any of theirs. Show me. Nevertheless, that's right. More to us. Case closed. Appreciate it, family. That's it. As I said before, this is really it. Again, don't want to sound like the song that never ends. Appreciate the love and support. In the words of Moses, or matter of fact, in the words of Yahweh that he gave to Moses, in Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 to 14. Fear ye not, stand still, see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see here today, they will never have power over you ever again. Ever again. The Most High will fight for you. But here's the kicker, family. We have to hold our peace. In other words, learn how to be quiet and let the Most High do what he's going to do. Can't go back. Can't stay here. Guess what, family? We have to keep moving forward. Shalom.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14, verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis.
Somebody better call